Good morning, all you beautiful souls out in YouTube land. We are officially on episode 14 for the Perseverance Under Pressure podcast. If you tuned in last Monday or last week, we discussed the determination component and how that involves determination versus perseverance. But we talked about effort, which is going to bring us into today's or this week's discussion. Effort, episode 14, effort, okay? Now, effort and perseverance also go hand in hand. Effort and dedication or determination go hand in hand. So before we kick this off, we're going to dive into the difference between effort and perseverance, okay? So this, according to Google, states, effort is the action or work that you put into a task, while perseverance is the sustained commitment to continue that effort over time, despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, despite the difficulties, that leads to goal achievement and personal growth. So as we talked about, we need to be determined in the mental state and then persevere, which is, again, the action, the consistent action of continuing to apply the effort needed to achieve those results. So I wanted to break down effort a little bit more. So one of my goals for this year, for 2026, was to become more consistent in my own fitness once again. Now, I've done a pretty good job over the last 4 years living on the road, not having my own place, not having my own bed, different gyms, all different hours of the day, depending as I travel the country and stop at a gym here, stop at a gym there. I've done a pretty good job. But I want to have more consistency. So therefore, I've decided to set my alarm, 6:30. I get up. Now it'll probably be a little bit earlier as I hit the road, so I'm going to shoot for 6 in the coming weeks. But there is no snoozing the alarm anymore. It's alarm goes off, we get up. Do I want to get up? No. Does that matter? No. We get up. Now the goal started with 30 minutes of cardio 5 days a week, and I have my normal workout weights 5 to 6 days a week. Now, putting in the effort, right? So my goal for the cardio was 30 minutes. Now, that looks very different. I can tell myself we're going to do 30 minutes, and I could walk at a slow pace on the treadmill for 30 minutes. But if I want to put the effort in, if I want to make myself do the work, if I want to get the max out of that session, then I'm going to either run or I'm going to interval train. But I can tell myself we're going to do 30 minutes. But how that 30 minutes looks, what I do in terms of effort or work is going to be very different for the result that I might want. If I just am looking for heart health, walking at a slow speed might be okay. If I'm looking for metabolic boost, if I'm looking for weight loss, if I'm looking to burn my body fat, well then when I do it, if I do it on an empty stomach, it's going to have more results because I'll force my body to burn more fat. If I do it more intensely, so I've been doing 30 minutes on the stairs, and then I bump that up to 40 minutes on the stairs. And I'll take a pause when I need to, but I'm not just slowly walking up the stairs. I'm pushing 500, 600, 650 calories to burn in that 40-minute window and eventually hopefully get up to 800 calories to 1,000 as I go up to 45, 50 minutes. But when you're putting in effort, it's going to have a very different effect if it's minimal effort or if it's maximal effort, right? If you get a job and you're only doing the bare minimum, then you're not really putting in a ton of effort to be a team player, to do, to climb the ladder of success, to possibly get a raise. You're just doing the bare minimum to get by. So you're not putting a ton of effort. In your journey to success, to building whatever it is you want to build, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your finance, whether it's your career, you do have to put in effort. If you're in a relationship, you need to show up to that relationship. You have to put in effort to make that relationship stay and to make it grow. If you're just posting once a month on your YouTube channel or your social media channel, but you're expecting to get a ton of results and new clients for your therapy business, your training business, or your coaching business, but there's no consistency and you're not putting in the maximal effort, you're not doing videos every day, dropping new content every day, sharing, reaching out, doing all the stuff, you might get a little bit, but you got to understand, if you're not going to put in the effort, you're not going to get the results that you probably envision in your brain. Now, you can be determined to get that, but if your work ethic and your effort load doesn't match, it's not going to go anywhere. So one of the biggest things when I was starting my personal training business, my goal at the time was I had lost my girlfriend. This is the first time I'd lost my girlfriend. I lost my job at Equinox, and I had to move out. So I kind of lost my home. And when I started my training company, it was in my mind that I was like, okay, I'm tired of working for people. Let's just dive into the deep end. Let's go. Let's put in the effort to build this and make this happen. And what does that look like? Shit, I don't know. Like, I have nothing to do but make this a success, which means if I have to take clients at 4 o'clock in the morning, which I did, and take clients until 10 o'clock at night, which I did, I have nothing to do but put 100% effort into building this, making myself successful, making this into the profitability to live, at least in a level of comfort, be able to have my own apartment, be able to afford my car, bills, taxes, right? But the effort that I put in was, okay, I had a client who worked in the city early. They had to catch like the 5:30, 6 o'clock train. So the level of commitment from them was they were getting up at 3:30, which means I got there at 4. We started training 4 to 5 and or 4 to 5:30, however it was, husband and wife. And then I would sleep in my car for another 2 hours because I had to wake up at 3 o'clock to get to their house at 4 o'clock to train them. And then I would have to start my day at 8 o'clock with my other clients. But the effort I was willing to put in was what helped produce the results of growing that business for myself. And being able to sacrifice your comfort, your sleep, and to really put your best foot forward in the maximum amount of effort to make something happen is how it happens. So when you're talking or when you're looking at, are you actually bringing as much effort to the table as you could? One of the guys, one of the top wrestlers, Brock Lesnar. If you've watched his documentaries, the dude is a beast. But he put 150% effort into everything he did, whether it was MMA, WWE, Olympic wrestling. He has a farm in Canada. He does all of his own stuff. The effort, the work ethic he puts in has allowed him to be as successful as he has been. And there's a lot of people that are just not willing to put forth the effort. They're happy to put forth the bare bones minimum, and then they expect that they're going to get the highest quality for the least amount of effort. And it's just not reality, guys. It's one of those things where today we have everybody wants the cheapest and the highest quality. And it doesn't work that way. Everybody wants the now. We're in a society of convenience. Everything now, now, now. And it's not realistic. That's not the real world. And so you have to be willing to have determination set in the mind, and you have to be willing to put the effort in and persevere towards the goal. And understand, you're probably going to be looking at the minimum 5 years to the max 20 to 30 years of dialing it in, of putting forth effort, of building the foundation, then building the framework. Oh, then you build another foundation. As you add on, you build that framework. Oh, more foundation, excavating, clear that out, build that new foundation. If you're going to grow and if you want to build something, whether it's, again, building your relationship into growth, building your finances, building your career, whatever it is, you've got to be willing to put the effort in. And if you're not willing to put the effort in, just understand that. Like we said in the last episode, if you're not willing to put forth the perseverance, but you're determined, well, if it doesn't match, it doesn't match. That's okay. If you're not willing to put forth the effort, totally fine. But be honest to yourself. Save yourself some time, save yourself some suffering, save yourself some heartache, and just be truthful. And if you want to settle for something because it's more convenient, then take that, right? There's nobody who's going to, maybe there will be, but for the most part, nobody's going to judge you for taking an easier path. The body is literally designed to take the easy route, to in a survival mechanism, trying to protect itself and take the easiest path, the least resistance, right? That's why you have to have perseverance and you have to have discipline to push your body past the points where it doesn't want to go when you're working out. So putting forth the effort into building your company, pushing yourself past the mental point of comfort, past the physical point of discomfort, past the emotional points of discomfort is an important part of that growth. You have to be willing to tell yourself, I'm not here to negotiate. I'm here to put forth max effort. And sometimes it might look different, right? Let's say you're going through an injury, you're going through some depression, you're having a hard time, life is hitting you on all different directions. You can still put forth max effort, but maybe your max effort today looks like 50%. Maybe tomorrow it's 60. Maybe it's as we get back up there, we get to 80, 90, 100%. But if your max effort is being applied, like when I get to the gym sometimes, I'm just tired. I'm shot in the morning. I take my vitamins. I make my pre-workout. Some days I get there and I'm like, all right, this is going to suck. And I start doing it and I'm like, whew, okay, I feel good. Let's go. Other days it's like I feel good and then I get there and I'm just like, oh, everything hurts. Everything is sore. This is going to suck. But instead of complaining and instead of just being like, well, let me go home, let me go walk on the treadmill. No, if today's max effort looks like 65%, then that's what I'm going to do. Now, I know I can go heavier and harder on a different day, but today's max is a little bit less than normal. And that's fine because I'm still pushing myself to the max for that day, for that energy level, okay? So take it for what it is, guys and girls. Again, effort, determination, dedication, perseverance, all of these pieces work together. We're just here to break down and give you some different ideas, different mindsets, share my story, some of the things that have helped me grow and continue to grow, and help with different perspectives. That's all we're trying to do here. So perseverance under pressure, guys and girls. Please hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and leave your comments if you have any for me. If you have any stories to share for yourself, I'd love to hear from you. And we will see you in episode 15 next week. Have a great week.